this show is going so quickly. Bobby, I appreciate your candor and your willingness to have this conversation because I feel it's so important.
Mm-hmm.
And,
It is.
my heart so goes out to you with your loss of Joshua. I know yesterday was his birthday.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that was a very difficult time for your family because your daughter is obviously still here.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's something about twinning that makes that so special, but yet so attached.
It's it's sometimes it's situations like that that just break me in half, and it's bittersweet. I mean, my poor daughter, you know, has to live with that too, and it's tough. It's tough all the way around. I mean, here we should be celebrating, but yet we're in remembrance, and it's like bittersweet. I don't know. I can't even explain it.
It's the only
It's
word
tough.
for it.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a very tough situation, not only for me as a parent, but my daughter. It's a struggle. It's a struggle.
And yet you're out there trying to come to grips with the fact that he came back.
Right, right. And I'm learning, and I'm learning, the whys and the hows
Yes.
of that situation, and it's a very amazing adventure, very amazing adventure. I'm learning a lot. I'm understanding a lot. I don't have any conflicts with it, because I basically, it's like I had to reconcile something here, whether it be my faith or my desire to, look into this. So, and the way I did it was I had to just dive into the study of the afterlife from a whole different angle, a whole different perspective, and try to get answers. And you know what? I'm getting them. I'm getting them from not only my own, I'm studying on my own through the years, gaining information from the books I read, but also now this great course I'm taking at the Rhine that just like pretty much explains everything. Like, I knew some things and then I didn't know some things. And this course is like putting it all together for me and saying, here it is. It's like you have the tools, you have the thought that the experience, not even the experience, but not even tools, but you have the studying in your brain. And that's good. I mean, you got it all. You got all the tools in your brain that you need to do this, but you don't know how to use those tools, or you've never seen them used properly. And the analogy I like to give is like, when you go to a zoo, you see a lion in a cage. Well, that's a lion. You know what he does, but you're not seeing him do what he does naturally. And through this course, it's putting these things together where now it's going to be a natural thing to look at things this way, other than through the eyes or the glass of religion. It's a whole different optic. It's a whole different situation. It's a whole different level. And, and that's tough for people to do. I mean, people ask me, well, where does your faith stand? I still have my faith. I mean, that's something that I don't think I can ever lose.
Right. I don't think
But,
we can either if it's true.
You
may question it at times. And that's okay. It's okay to come with questions.
See, destruction coming. So it's like, that's where I'm at now. I still have my faith, and I've had to reconcile that with what I'm studying now. And what I'm studying now, to me, right now, is giving me enlightenment into what it actually is, with this whole paranormal thing. And it's amazing. It truly is. It truly is amazing.
What do you feel is the is the hardest part to wrap your mind around relevant to what you're doing now and your faith?
Well, because my faith forbids it. My faith forbids seeking out these things. Although I think it's in the book of Acts when we're told, not to be tossed to and fro by every teaching that you hear, but to try the spirits to see if they are of God or not. We're instructed to try the spirits, but I don't think it means in this case. And so it was a tough thing to do. But along with studying the paranormal, I also read up on the history of religion, civilizations, where this all started. This was my whole thing. This was my life for a while. And, I come to find out that, there's more to these things than just, there's the dynamics of this world and this universe and this world in it are totally separate from religion. It totally is. Now even with the advent of this big disclosure that's supposed to happen in July of next year, with the aliens, how we're going to reconcile faith with that? How we even, able to think about beings from another planet? Is Jesus their savior as well?
Why could he not be? I think that there are creation stories on if there is extraterrestrial life. I feel that is something that is going to turn out to be universal.
Well, it might be, but biblically speaking, it was directed solely to us.
But biblically speaking, to the people on this planet, it was directed solely to them.
Right.
They may have the same story, the same creation story, the same salvation story. I don't see why that would not be a possibility. And I actually feel that if they're out seeking us or seeking life out there as we are, then why would they not be living the same experience that we have, but just their own?
Well, if you listen to the experts in the field, which I am not, in ufology, they go back to the ancient Sumerians who supposedly were actually extraterrestrials who started this whole thing. So I don't know. There's a lot of questions. You go back to, I think it's Enkai or Anukai. I don't even know how to pronounce Anunnaki. Yeah. These are actual aliens who came here that somehow through DNA created humans to be a workforce here. And something happened. I guess the aliens got into liking the human women, and things got a little out of hand, and here we are today. But there's a whole bunch of different things to think about there. When it comes to,
you have the Nephilim also.
You have who?
The Nephilim, the angels who were very involved with human women and were procreating with them.
Well, that's
so
what
different species doing
in the
that.
In the book of Genesis, it speaks of the sons of God mating with the daughters of humans and creating sort of a superhuman race, and God didn't want that. But when was the Bible written? Prior to that was this whole Sumerian thing going on, and the stories, although are basically the same, are just being redirected some way through the Bible and through the Quran and through other religious cultures. So, there's a whole lot of questions that I have,
Me too.
and that's what I'm doing. I am seeking them out. And as far as like the mountain I lived on in New York, we were doing the supposed to have been a show. It was a show put on by the Travel Channel. It was going to be called the Pine Bush Phenomenon, and I got into that. I don't know. I just got a call out of the blue, basically, and I got involved big time with it. But we were trying to figure out what the draw of the mountain was for these UFOs, and for basically, a lot of paranormal activity as well, all along this mountain, and which is made up of certain types of conglomerates of sandstone and limestone and quartz crystal that can't be found anywhere else in this country except for the mountain I lived on. And it's basically a hollow mountain. So, we were trying to figure out what the draw of the extraterrestrials were to this mountain, and also, could it possibly be the energy needed for paranormal events to happen, through the geology of the mountain, the ability to store and disperse energy, and of course the crystals, meaning the quartz that fine-tune frequencies. The best way, or they do it perfectly apparently, because man-made crystals just don't do it as well. Maybe that's why the extraterrestrials were coming and mining on the mountain. Or this is why there are very large hotspots of paranormal activity along this mountain. So, and that's where this show was kind of going. And, but I don't know if it's going to air or not, but, we'll see. But it's pretty amazing. Just the geological makeup of the mountain would draw these alien beings into mine to harvest these crystals, and also there's many cases of abduction in the area, as well as paranormal activity. It's like all intertwined there.
I find that to be not an uncommon theme, though, with the people that I talk to in different areas of the country. And even as far as including cryptids with that. You have the ufology, you have spiritual, paranormal, and you have cryptids all happening, all coming together. And I just find that fascinating. It's like they're uniting.
There's some kind of connection apparently with Bigfoot and extraterrestrials. I know a group over in Rhinebeck, New York, and I've talked to some of the people. They were also doing a segment on this show, and strangely enough, like you said, there's some kind of connection, because they would also have reports of seeing Bigfoot around these like crafts, like that were emanating these weird kind of lights, and so there might be a connection there. But you know what? That's very that's anthropology, and it's apparently a biological living being, whether you're talking about a Bigfoot or a extraterrestrial. Now, on the flip side of that, you have ghosts, which are not. So it's kind of tough to tie them in. I mean, there is a chance it might all be dimensional, as far as the way the aliens travel and where they're from.
That's true.
Might interdimensional. It's the theory of some that I've read in years past that our souls, when we die, slip into a different dimension, possibly the fourth. And, but we don't know the truth behind that. We don't know the facts behind that because we can't test it. We can't analyze it. We can't weigh it. We can't measure it. We can't. You know,